Okay, so next class will now be master files. I think so. Yeah, master files setup. Now, what do we call master files? Let me go back to the dashboard. Yeah, so what do we call master files? I'm sure most of you, I just want you to think about it a little before I continue. What do you think it's called master files? So if you are going to be starting your journey into um, consultancy, business software consultancy, it's good for you to know what the master files is. So master files are the files that are actually needed to begin your implementation process. They are the things we all know. So you are just asking for those files from your customer, or even if you are implementing this, if you are going to be using this yourself, you need to know what is called master files. So what are master files? What are master files? A collection of records pertaining to one of the main subjects of an information system, such as customers, employees, products. So they are required by information system. They are the main thing that will drive the transactions. I'll give you an example. If you want to enter a transaction relating to a customer, let's say invoice, immediately you think about the word invoice, there are some things that come to your head. Number one is customer. Number two is product. You understand? So those two things I've mentioned, they have lists of if you need the list, if you want to create them on the system, they are what is actually called the master files. So if I request from my client, I say, please, can you give me your master files? Which of the master files do we need? I'll ask them, oh, for instance, give me your fixed asset list, give me your bank list, give me your customer list, give me your what's it called? Your products that you sell. Give me the list. So they will be able to know, okay, these are the things we sell, blah blah blah, blah, and okay, you give me the list, but is it complete in terms of just giving me the name? No. I need a name or description. I need a price. I need some kind of master setup that should be with it, so that at the point that when I'm doing the transaction, I don't need those informations again. For instance, if I'm entering the master files, I will ask you, can you give me the list of your customers and their balances? I can ask you, give me their email address also. So there will be a template that will require what we call a code. We call it code. That's a unique code. That's the special ID, identification number. So you can have a code, just like you have. Okay, very good. We all have bank accounts. So we are customers to our banks. Your bank account number is a special code that is given by your bank. That is what they use in identifying you. Let's assume you have Olumide Aino in Zenith Bank. You can't have one Olumide Aino in Zenith Bank. You have multiples of Olumide Aino in that same bank. In the same bank, in the same branch, you have multiples of it. So what differentiates me from others is my account number. So which is a special identification. So aside my name, I have a code. So that is why you see the bank will tell you can only have your account number. Then when they call your account number, it automatically brings out your name. It automatically brings out your address. So that information you are giving to them, you are giving them your biodata, you are giving them your master files information. So if you two are giving, they are going to be automating your system. We ask you for you to give us your master file, and it will. If you don't have a special code for your customers, we will create a special code, and that is the special code you will be relating with. We will create a special code for your customer. Oh, this is the code you are going to be using for your customers, and you need to relate with it. It doesn't mean that because I'm using CUS001 for my customer, you should another client should use it. It is not compulsory. I don't know if you understand that it is not compulsory. So we must know what a master file is. So this is it now. I'll go back to my customer. So let's assume I want to get the list of my customers. You can see it's asking me for a name. It's asking me for a company name. It's giving me email address. So these are master files. So if I have balances that these customers are owing or I am owing them, it has to be included here. You understand? So this aspect is where you create. So you are creating the list of your customers. If it is your product also, so what are the kind of things, what are the special things that you need from some systems comes with some items comes with a special code. Some comes with a special code. And even from the production, they generate a serial number for them. Serial number is a different thing. It's a different thing, but let's focus on code, SKUs, that's stock keeping units. So you give a code to a particular item to just identify it. Even if your kind of product is services, you need to have a special code to identify it. At times, people don't see it as important, but for implementation, I feel it is important, and I have been using it for a very long time, and it makes you think about the future rather than just considering, oh, what do we do now? What are we doing presently? No. Think about what happens. What about a scenario whereby, okay, you have a service you render. Maybe you are in, what's it called? You are a mechanical engineer, and let's say what you do, maybe you try to change. Okay, let me use the word maintenance of cars. So you change the engine oil. When you are changing that engine oil, changing of engine oil could be a service, but tomorrow things could change. Oh, the engine oil, yeah, changing of engine oil. Then you now want to break down that service into two again. Changing of engine oil, let's say engine oil for Toyota, or engine oil for this, engine oil for that. You want to break it. Maybe the service has changed. The amount that you are paying for each of the services are not the same thing. So you need to generate a different code. You need to create a different code for it. So these are just situations around what I'm calling special code. So it is important that at every point in time you look through on your list. Look through on your list, try to generate a code for them. With time, you are going to get used to it. I'm going to use an example. Now, for instance, if I want to create my list of customers, if I look at my list of customers, I have some customers that are in Bauchi. I have some customers that are in Lagos, Abuja. You understand? looking at that, I am differentiating them gradually based on their group or based on their location. So I can generate a code so that I can be able to streamline those that are in Lagos different from the ones that are in Abuja. So that the list of customers that are in Abuja will follow the sequence I'm creating for them. Why the one in Lagos will follow the same sequence I'm creating for them? You understand what I'm trying to say? So you need to make sure you have a code. That is from experience, that is from practice, that is from ethics. But if you feel that you just want to use the system to see what the system can actually do, fine, you can, but I would advise you, you should do it well from start. What is worth doing is worth doing well. So let me use the example of let's say customers. I'm creating a customers that I give it a code. Now I click on new. So let me go back there. So we are going to be, some of the lists we are going to be creating. We are going to be creating lists for customers. We are going to be creating lists for items. That is the product that you sell. If you are somebody that sells, maybe it's a fashion industry now, you sell fashion, female fashion items. You sell cap, you sell bag, you sell trousers, you sell pants, you sell all those things. So first list out all your items, list it out all the items, then try to give them a code. Try to arrange them to the serial or to the sequential, then give it a code like that. So when you give it a code, maybe by that time you will be able to understand better. So now look at this now. I say, okay, I'm going to be creating customers and I'm going to be creating items. These are the only master files that I'm going to be creating for this platform, Zoho invoicing platform. Then I just click here. When you click here, it displays the list. You click this module, it displays the list of all your customers. It displays the list of all your customers. So if you want to add, you can either add here, create new customer, or come here and click on customer. I told you the other time that this is a quick action button. This quick action will allow you to quickly create a customer, create anything regardless of the module. If you look at this now, if I come to these items, if I look, oh, I want to create a customer, I forgot to create a customer. If I go and click this is me, I'm creating for item. So if I click this, I come here to come and choose my customer or my users. I can just quickly come here. I want to create my users on the system. So this is the aspect for that. So let me close this. Now let me say customers. I click on new customer. Now the system comes up with this. When you are creating a customer, are you creating it as a business or an individual? Is the company, the person you are, the customer you are creating, is it a legal entity or is just an individual? I will advise you just create all of them as business. It's better to create them as business, but this is what it's trying to say. Business, it is a registered business. You have it's the same information you are going to be filling between the two, but this just gives it a way of differentiating them. But just choose business. Now there's something we call contact, primary contact. Even though it's a business, let me see this also out. Okay, even though it is a business, you need a representative in that company. So the representative is what you are having. So you can have 5 representatives for a particular company. You can have 2 representatives for a particular company. So it is that. So it is a compulsory, especially if you want to be sending mails. So you need to have a representative. So if I do like this, I click on customer. Now my representative is Mr. Yemi. Then I will not put anything. Then what is the company name? Let's say the company name is Abi Logistics. You understand? Now this customer display name. This customer display name, what the system will do is this. We give you options of either the company name or the contact name, so that this is what will be displayed for you at your transactions. It doesn't mean that even though it displays this, that this you cannot still use all this to find it. So this is what I'm saying. So you use this aspect for your code. You understand what I'm saying? So use this aspect for your code. So if you look at this now, look at this. Can you see? So it has given me Mr. Yemi. It has given me Yemi. So it's just suggesting that what do I want to use for my code. So if I say I want to use Abdul Logistics, which means I'm not using a code again. This is what the system will always refer to. So for me, what I would do is to say, oh, CUS003, which means this is a customer. So if I look at, okay, this customer is a Lagos customer, maybe there is a way, maybe because I want to be able to generate their report, I will just CUSLAG, which means this identifies that me looking at the code is a customer in Lagos. So you just need a kind of sequence numbering so that the system will be able to arrange it according to how you envisage that it should come out. So then I give it then what is the email address. Also, it is important, if you are going to be sending mails, it is important to have the customer email address here. It is important to have customized email address. So if I have Abi Food or Abi Logistics, at gmail.com, so I can have this like this. Now, one thing about this training is, for you attending this training, we are available to guide you through. The essence of this training is that you should be able to do it yourself. But if you feel that you don't want to do it yourself, you want us to do it for you, then you will have to pay for extra charges. So which means you are paying for implementation, and our implementation start from 20,000. So it's better if you know you can't afford that 20,000. I feel that 20,000 is much. It is something that you can do yourself. We are available to support you. We will support you because we want you to do it yourself. But if you feel you can't do it yourself, or maybe you are busy, you don't, then give it to us and we'll do it for you. So now you give email address. If you have a website, you give it. Then what currency is this customer? Is it a foreign customer? It is a foreign customer, which means that when you are dealing with this person, you are dealing in, for instance, if the person is a foreign customer in dollar, he pays you in dollar, and you generate you charge him in dollar. Let me use that way. You charge him in dollar. Please make sure that your currency is dollar. It is not the one that you will say you invoice the customer in dollar and you are now collecting naira. No. If you invoice him in dollar, you have to collect money from him in dollar. You understand what I'm saying? So that is the essence. So this is important. So every other then tax, you can put the VAT, so that you can put the VAT also here, so that the system will automatically brings it up on the listing with his name, on the invoice with his name. Now address, if you have any other address you want to include, you can have it there. Now if you have more than one contact person there in the company, you have more than one contact person, you can use this contact person here. Now look at this. So you can put a phone number 080567889, then let me say contact person. So if you have more than one contact person, you can hide the contact persons here. You can hide it here. So when you are done, this you are done with all this information. Okay, now another thing that is important is this. You can enable payment term. That is, when do you want, what is the agreement you are making with this person in terms of payment? Oh, should he pay you immediately on invoice? Should he pay you 2 days after? Should he pay you 3 days after? Should he pay you 5 days after? Like that. So now you have next payment of 15 days. This means it is due in 15 days. So which means the system starts recognizing that this person is owing you 15 days after. So it means this person starts owing you 15 days after. So due end of the month, that is means that particular month you are keying that transaction for that invoice. It means that is when the system, or is it of the next month? So if you look at the configured terms, look at this now. You have said that the system should configure, you are configuring more. Maybe that one that you see is not there, you want to add more. So you can click on add new and add more to it. So you can add as many as you want. So, but you will have to select one for the customer. You have to select one for a customer. So look at this now. Mark as default. So you can decide that, oh, this is what you want to mark as default for the customer. You understand? So at every point in time, this payment terms comes up when you want to generate his invoice. It comes up when you want to generate his invoice, but you can change it at invoice level. It doesn't mean you cannot change it at invoice level. But at least there are some terms you meet, you and the customers have agreed. Oh, anytime I make a sales with you, this is what we are going to agree on, that you will pay me 2 days after, 3 days after, 15 days after, like that. So you need to specify. For situation whereby you don't have, it's not compulsory, you don't need to pick anything. But let me say I have picked something here. Now I have enable portal. I told you that the system has a platform where customers can actually go to and check their own activities, all the invoices they have raised for them, all the payments that they've made. They want to make comments on it, they want to even see it. So if I tick this allow portal access for this customer, it means this customer will have access to that portal. But if I don't tick it, it means this customer does not have access to it. That is what it means. So if I tick this now, allow portal access for this customer, I want this customer to be able to log in to see some of his transaction. Now then, portal language, what is the language that should be displayed? So I want English. So if you have any other language, let's choose English. Now what is the Facebook handle of this particular customer, you can write it. You can write this. So I told you that this system, this Zoho has what we call the CRM. So these are just for CRM integrations. These are just for the team. So we are trying as much as possible to get all the information regarding this particular customer. So this is how to create a master file regarding your company. So you create this. So when you are done, just click on save. You understand? So now you have created a customer. You can see it is now among the list of customers that are here. So if I go back here, you can see I have a customer here. So if I click on this, should align that. So this is what I'm trying to say. You can see how the system arranged it for me. So this is the aspect of creating my customer. But from this, I'm supposed to create 2 customers. From our training, I think we are supposed to create 2 customers. So if you want to edit, if you want to modify a customer, you can always modify the customer. So all you just need to do is come here and click on edit customer. You can as well send emails to a customer from this level. All you just need to do is when you move your mouse to this end, just click here and then you click here, edit customer, email customer. It takes you to the email platform. So you want to send, you will enter the email address of the person, which is this, just because I've added a contact, so it automatically brings out that person's name for you. Then you give it a subject. So this is, instead of you using your email platform, you can use this one for it. That's what it's saying. So I'll close this. Now go back there and come here and say, oh, I just want to edit this customer. So maybe there's some information I did not remember to put. You can always come here to edit. So let's create another customer. Please, I want you all to also try this on your phone. Everything I'm doing, pause the video, pause this video, create your own, move on again, do the same thing. Now I click on add. I'm creating a foreign customer, but if you don't have customers that sells to you in dollar, buys from you in dollar, you don't need to create a foreign customer. It is not compulsory. Please, it is not compulsory. So if, for instance, now there has been a very good relationship in terms of e-commerce between Ghana and Nigeria. So in this situation, let's assume the base currency is Ghana. Maybe the customer that is using this as of now is Ghanaian. The Ghanaian that is using, so his base currency will be Ghana. It will be Ghanaian cedis. So when he wants to create his customer, maybe he has a customer in Nigeria. So he will create the customer, and he will also create a currency called Naira. But his base currency on this system is Ghana cedis. Is Ghana cedis. That is his base currency. But when he's creating the customer, the Nigerian customer here, you will make sure that the currency here is Naira, Nigeria Naira. So let me just say, okay, I have a, okay, let me say I have a customer. Let me say I have a customer in UK, Mr. John. So I have Mr. John on the system. I'm trying to create Mr. John on the system, and Mr. John works for a company called. Now, Mr. John works for a company called, let's say, Bell Hills. Let me just say Bell Hills or Bell Hills. Let me say Bell clothes, furniture. Now, so in this situation itself, I can also decide that, oh, I want the list of my foreign customers to be together rather than having, so I can use my code here to say, just example, I'm not saying it's not compulsory. Okay, now another thing you should note is this: it's better your code, when you're doing a code, make sure that you are using the same length. I just thought of something. I wanted to create CUSFOM. Then I now notice that FOM, it's not too good because I will have CUS and FOM. So what I will do is, let me just use this FOR. It shows foreign customers. Then I say 00, right? Then I have John at Bell Hills. .com, right? Then I can put the phone number, I can put the website. Then here I'll change it to USD. So just type USD, it's going to bring it out USD. Can you see that brought out USD? Now for foreign customer, I'm not charging VAT. Let me assume I'm not charging VAT. So because I'm selling to them now, payment terms is supposed to pay, let's say 30 days time. I want to allow porter, maybe I want him to also see what is going on. Then all I just need to do is to click on save. So that is just the difference between creating a foreign customer and creating a local customer. Now if you look at this now, immediately you create, look at this, you can see that his currency is in dollar. Now I will still show you, I'll still come back to show you some things here. This thing here, immediately I created it, brought me here. So this is just to give you an overview of the customer. So you can as well do like this. This is what I'm trying. So when you click on customer, you can click on everyone. So if you click on me, it's going to bring you the same thing here. So you can see what the system. Now look at this also. Look at what the system said. Portal invitation not accepted, which means this has been sent, but the this customer has not yet accepted, because the person needs to accept. So it will send a link. So it is that link that show, oh, you accept or not. Yes, when it accepts, then it will request for a password for them. So that is what this is. So if, for instance, if I don't get the person, I can still re-invite. You understand? So that is that. So you can see all the information. This is just an overview of this particular customer. So as you are working, as you are doing anything, you see that the system has all this information. Then if there's any comments that you want to add, you can always add it. This will show you transactions that had happened between you and the customer on each of the modules that are here. Then the mails also that have been exchanged in between, you see. Then the statement of the customer will also display here. So you see the statement of the customers, which can be printed at every point in time. You can see your logo is displaying here. This logo can also be modified, because you can see it is looking too big here. So these are different things that can actually happen on your customer listing. So I will close this. Now let's go to the next aspect of okay, we've done this watermaster file. Now let's look at creating items. So items are the things you sell, whether in goods, as goods or services. These are the things you actually sell. So if you want to create an item, you just come in. So like I said, you must have your list of your items. So have the list of all your items, then you come here and start creating. So let's say If I want to create a new item, if I click this also, if I click this button, you know I click this the other time, that's why I brought me. If I click here also, it will do the same thing as that name. Can you see? So if I come here also, if I click here, it will still do the same thing. So please just take note of that. Now, the product or the item you are creating. Now, this is not the quantity, this is not the stock, this is creation, making sure that if customer comes in and say, oh, do you have shoe? The answer is yes or no. Do you have shoe, or do you sell shoes? Then you can now ask what type of shoe. You understand? The customer had already come. You sell shoes? Yeah. Okay, let me use a simple thing. Okay, you sell let's say a small shop, maybe a small store or a supermarket works in. Do you guys have bread? The next thing is yes, I have bread. And the customers then go to check what type of bread he or she has. Then come to you and say, how much is the bread? You tell him the price, or maybe you have seen the bread already, right? So it's the same thing here. The customer comes to you and says, do you have this? That particular thing you are selling. And it's always good to break it down very well so that you don't have everything muddled up. As long as, especially, okay, at what situation do you have these things broken down more? Most cases where the prices are not the same. Most cases where the prices are not the same. Now, somebody walks in and say, I want to buy a shoe. Then you now ask. You tell the person yes. So which draws the person inside? Okay, you have shoes. Okay, so you ask what type of shoes do you have? Heels, sneakers. You understand? Now, oh, I want sneakers. Okay, sneakers. What type of sneakers do you have? I have Nike. What type of brand of sneakers do you have? I have Nike. I have Adidas. I have, Louis Vuitton. So these are things you need to also consider. They are not the same price, but situation whereby they are the same price and you are not even interested in knowing the brand, then you can have it created as just customers, just created as item. But if you come through us, if you are doing through us, what we'll do is that, okay, give us the list of items you sell. That's the first thing we will ask you. Then you give us your list of items, we check. There's a way you write it down. You've been writing it down, right? So if it's that same list you are putting on the system, they have different prices. So put the same list on it on the system. So for instance, if I say, okay, I have a LV sneakers. Now you can also have the system to have a code for you. You can have the system have a code for you, but I think that is not defined on the setup so that it makes it more easy. But it's always good to go with a code. It's always easy to go with a code. Let me see if I can enable the code. I want to enable the code for my item. So let's assume I'm using let me go to settings. Sorry, I'm not supposed to do this, but let me just do that. Let me leave this page. I want to try to enable that system should use code. Now look at what the system is saying. Duplicate item name, allow duplicate item names. If you allow duplicate item names, all important, we don't even want to allow duplicate item names because we don't have a code. right? We don't have a code, but we need to have a code. Now, so field customization. I'll come to this field customization and say that, oh, I want this to be active, mark as active. I want it to be marked as active. Then also I want to make it mandatory, mark as mandatory. So I'm marking it as active. That's the SKU, the codes. That is at every point in time. The reason why I did it like that, I'm doing this thing, because when you're doing yours also, you won't be seeing some things. So I want you to see. That is why I didn't do some settings right from time. So all I just did, let me try to go out of here again so that we see what I did. So all I did was to come to, I noticed that this wasn't there before, but because I've done that, so I noticed that the code, where to write the code, wasn't there. I came here to my settings, then I came to preferences. So preferences is different from all those ones I explained earlier where we talked about the first level. This is supposed to actually come on the second level, but you can still make use of it. Now I say this time, I say you should leave this page so that it can come here. We are still going to talk about most of these things, but let's just go to items, because what we are dealing with is item. If you want to set a 2 decimal, yeah, just leave it on 2 decimal. Come to field customization. Now you want selling price to be active, yes. You want SKU items to be active, yes. Yes, that. You want item image to be active, yes. If I want my item image as active, which means I can upload pictures. I can upload pictures on my item. So then I click here. For instance, if I want more custom fields, I can come here and add the kind of custom fields that I want. I can add as many as I want, but let's just make use of what's available here so that we don't give ourselves too much stress. Then I come here, then come down to, okay, I've done this now, so I can go back. So you can see I can add my image. I can either I drag the image or I browse, just like you browse your image. Now what is the product? So the product name is LV white sneakers, white male sneakers. Right now, because it's a product that can be counted, it is good, it is not service, then I can make this like this. Now I can say SKU. Now that is the code I want to be using to track it. Some items comes with SKUs. That is, let me use an example. Okay, your books. If you are into book selling, if you have a bookshop, there is an ISBN number that comes with it. So that ISBN number can actually serve as the SKU, which means if you get that item, that same product, if you go to another place, that same number is there. You go to another same number. So it is different from serial number. Serial number is specific to a particular manufactured product. The specific to that item alone, it is specific to that. So if you buy a laptop today, so that laptop has a brand name and has a serial number that comes with it. So it is that serial number that we use to be tracking your laptop at every point in time. So that aspect that I'm talking about is not what the serial number is different. Serial number is not your SKU. It is the code that you give to laptops generally. oh, I'm selling laptop. I sell Dell laptop. I sell HP laptop. So HP laptop would have its own code. But if you feel that the SKU, all those things, the coding is disturbing you, you can leave it. You may not, but in practice, as best practice is that you should have a code. So let me say I have a Louis Vuitton male sneakers that I'm selling. I called it ITM. Then ITM, I want to track it as male. Okay, let me just use IT item, then male, then I say SNK SN 001. So which means that this is an item called this is an item for male, and it's a sneakers 001. You understand? So this is what this means. Now, if you want to manage the unit, is this in pieces or is it in boxes like that? So let me just say this is in pieces. So let me just say this is in pieces. Now, how much is it per piece? Let's say 35,000 naira. That's 35,000 naira. Now, the description. So if you have further description, you can just still add it. You can still add further description on it. So now, if you have a tag that you want to, you can still put your back that this particular item is taxing. Then I say save. So you can see that item has been created, right? So I come here again, new. Now you look at, okay, after creating the item, you now found out that, oh, there are some services that you need to do. Maybe and charge your customers on it. You can as well do those things. You can create them as a service. Maybe you are selling laptop and you do maintenance of laptop, so you can have something called maintenance of laptop as an item or as a product on the system. So that is, if it is not quantity, you use services. So I can click on cancel here to move on. Now these are for my item. So those are just the things that we've been able to create concerning our customers and also our items. So let's go to some of the things that we have here. Who or what is a customer? In sales, in sales, commerce, and economics, a customer is the recipient of a good, service, product, or an idea obtained from a seller, vendor, or supplier via a financial transaction or exchange for money. You can see, you can simply say customer is the person who buys goods or service from a shop or business. That is just a simple definition of a customer. So what or who is a product or an item? It is an individual article or unit, especially one that is part of a list, collection, or set. The things a vendor or supplier sells to his customer is known as item, product, or service. Can you see what I'm saying? So now, what are master files? A collection of records pertaining to one of, okay, I've explained this also. So example of item master include SKU or unique item code. So all these I've been able to explain it in this manner. So situation whereby you don't understand what I say. Now we can also see the importance. There are so many importance of customer. How to create a customer. I also identify how to create a customer here. So you can look at it, how the customers are being created from the system. So the same thing too goes to you can edit your customer details. I told you how to edit a customer detail, how to create an item, or then how to create. Okay, now I think here, okay, how to create a new item is the same thing that I've explained to you. So you can create your new items. This is just further explanation on the process. So this will just tell you what these different scenarios that could help you create those items. So you can edit an item to actually see. Now I think we are going deeply into data capturing. This is one of the most interesting parts I've been waiting for. How do we capture our data on the system? So in our next lesson, we'll see how to capture our data. Thank you.